Hi, I'm Alex Ramel. I'm state rep from the 40th District. I'm here today to talk about turning the tide on our climate crisis. Every year, we're seeing more and more intense heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods, and other climate-related emergencies. Climate change is affecting our health, our food sources, it's affecting our economy, and other aspects of our daily life. And we know that these impacts are disproportionate and oftentimes are borne by those who can least afford it. We know we need to act now to turn the tide on climate change because the climate crisis is getting worse every year. The good news is that we know how to solve these problems, and the technology and the tools are at the ready, and we just need to scale up solutions like electric transportation and moving away from burning fossil fuels to generate electricity and to power our buildings. We can see huge carbon reductions by improving energy efficiency and electrifying our buildings. The less energy we're using for heating and cooling, and the more of it that's running on Washington's increasingly clean electricity, the less opportunity or need there is to burn fossil fuels. More efficient buildings means lower carbon emissions. I've got several bills this year that are going to help our state reduce carbon pollution by improving our energy efficiency in buildings and by implementing the technology that we already know exists, but that we need to adopt and put to work more quickly. That's why I introduced House Bill 1390. This is a bill that's focused on our state campuses, like the universities, our capital, and will require those campuses that have sort of connected energy districts to develop a decarbonization plan for that whole campus and look at the cumulative effect of all of the buildings together as a system rather than looking building by building, and allow our campus administrators to more strategically tackle their approach to decarbonizing those buildings. This is also an important opportunity for us to put folks to work and make sure that skilled construction trades have a place in our clean energy economy. I'm also working on House Bill 1391, which sets energy efficiency and electrification goals for residential and commercial buildings and is intended to create an easy button so that individual building owners, whether small businesses or homeowners, will be able to take advantage of all of the different opportunities that we have, especially now with federal funding coming down the pipe from the Inflation Reduction Act. We want to make sure everybody knows what they qualify for and that we're poised to take full advantage of that. And we also want to make sure that we're designing those programs so that we don't leave anyone behind, regardless of income or geography. And finally, I want to tell you about a bill that I've recently introduced that's focused on incentivizing clean energy production. House Bill 1756 is a bipartisan piece of legislation that is looking at wind energy farms and solar farms, big battery electric storage facilities, and is targeted at making sure that the value that these big systems, these big investments are making, that as much of that value is returned to the local community, to schools and local government and tribes in the area so that there's shared prosperity when we're making these big investments in these communities. So these are just a few of the important pieces of the puzzle that we're hoping to put together to continue to build on the progress Washington has made with things like the Clean Energy Transformation Act and the Climate Commitment Act and the HEAL Act in recent years. We've got a lot of opportunity to keep building on those successes and make sure that Washington State remains a leader in confronting our climate crisis.